Hey, Jam Pack family. If you're new with us, welcome to our channel.
If not, welcome back to the pack.
We are the Jam Pack family. So today, you guys, the video we're gonna talk about what's been going on in our lives the last 2 weeks. Yeah.
Be 2 weeks. Well, yeah, 2 weeks.
Yesterday
was 2 weeks.
Wow, yesterday was 2 weeks. It was on Thursday.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
I didn't even realize that we were having it on the 2-week anniversary.
Yeah.
Wow. Yesterday was 2 weeks. So I have an older sister named Janisha, and she was going on a camping trip. And she goes out of town all the time, right? She always go out of town.
I think let's move this over a little bit because your face is, a corner of your face was,
like that.
Yeah.
Okay, had to adjust the camera. So I have an older sister named Janisha, and she was going out of town, which she do all the time. She fly, cruise, drive, whatever. And she was excited about this camping trip that she really wanted to go on, which was in Atlanta, Georgia. Most of you know we live in Kansas City. So she ended up going, and she had told my mom that she made it. Excuse me. I actually talked to her since she had made it. And she left on Tuesday, and she wasn't supposed to come back until today, which is Friday. This is the day she was supposed to come back. And she left on Tuesday, and she made it there. She left Tuesday evening, so she made it there Wednesday afternoon. And so she made it there Wednesday. I had talked to her that afternoon. Well, actually, it was maybe 5 o'clock their time. And Thursday morning, the next day, that morning, one of her church members had came and knocked on our door. That was here in Kansas City. Knocked on our door and told my mom that my sister had an accident. They didn't speculate what kind of accident, anything. They just said that Janisha had an accident. Well, they call her Johanna. They said she had an accident. So we're thinking she had a car accident, or something like that. So I came upstairs, and actually immediately me and my mom tried to call my sister, and she didn't answer the phone. And then, and you guys don't know that this is my sister that lived with me. My mom, we tried to call her. She didn't answer the phone. And we tried to, so before she left, my mom had asked her, who are you going to be staying with? Because she was going, I guess her churches have different locations everywhere. And she was going to Atlanta, Georgia to be with them. And my mom was like, I need to know who you're staying with. Now, my sister's 42 years old, but my mom's still like, I don't care how old you are. I need to know who you're staying with. So she gave my mom the girl name and number that she was staying with, and that's all my mom had was just that one person. So my mom was like, well, let me call her, she's supposed to be there. And so my mom called her, and while my mom is calling her or calling around, I went upstairs and told Aaron, I said, Nisha been in an accident. We don't know where she is. Before we even called the girl Nicole, we had called like the hospitals. We didn't even know, because we knew she was staying in a city, like a county right outside of Atlanta. So we didn't know which one in particular. She had named it, but we couldn't remember the name because there's so many counties that are outside of Atlanta. And I was like, Lincoln. I said, start with an L. I know it started with an L. And I went upstairs. I told Aaron, I said, somebody came to the door and said that Nisha was in an accident. I said, I'm looking for flights down, because they said that she had went to the hospital. And I said, I'm looking for flights down because my mom was going to fly down there and, be with her and bring her back home. And what happened after that? So we ended up getting a hold of Nicole, the girl that my mom, Nisha, gave her the number, and was like, are you there? What's going on with Nisha? And she said, no, I'm not there yet. She said she wasn't even aware. And when we told her that we were told that she was in an accident, she was like, let me call you back. I'm about to call people down there that I know. And so this whole time we still think it's a car accident. We talked to the sheriff's department. We're like, because I looked up where I thought I had found I thought I have seen the city, the county. I was like, okay, this is the county. And I was like, this is this hospital right here. I'm like, Mama, they have one hospital because it's a really small county. And I called the county. I called the hospital that I found on Google. I was like, I think this is it. I think this is a county. And I called them and I said, yeah, I want to know if you have a patient by, Janisha, whatever. And they were like, she looked it up. She said, no, I don't see her. I said, we was told that she had an accident and she would go to the hospital. And she said, I don't see her. She said, so that means she has not been admitted. She said, but that doesn't mean that she's not here. She could be in the ER, is what she told me. And I said, okay. And so Nicole had ended up calling my mom back saying, I don't know what happened. I'm on my way down there to Atlanta. She said, but this is the number to the hospital. That's all I know. She said, this is the hospital. This is the number to the hospital that she went to. And so my mom was like, okay. So my mom called and the nurse answered the phone. And she said, my mom said, hi, I'm such and such. I want to give my mom name. She said, I'm such and such, and I'm looking for my daughter, Janisha, whatever. And the lady was like, immediately, the nurse was like, oh, thank God. And my mom had her on speakerphone, like I'm in my mom's room. And she said, oh, thank God. And I'm like, what, nobody was with her? I'm like, thank God, like, ooh, somebody claimed this unknown child. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this unknown person. I'm like, so nobody was with her? So I automatically thought, oh, so she ended up having to go to the hospital by herself. Mm-hmm. And so then she was like, what is Janisha's birthday? And I'm like, why you just can't ask her? You know what I mean? And so my mom gave her birthday, and she was like, what is her address? And then my mom gave her address, and then she just started asking my mom all these questions. She was like, the doctor want to talk to you. And I'm like, okay.
But even before then, like, that's state protocol. They still had to abide by the HIPAA law. Because if she would have gave that information, she would have got in trouble.
Oh, so you mean she verified?
She still has to verify.
So that's what you saying. She was verifying my mom. Oh, okay. And so she said the doctor need to talk to you, and I'm like, okay, like, I still couldn't understand. I was like, why the doctor? Is she unconscious? Is what I started to think. Like, maybe she got in an accident and she was unconscious. And so this whole time we're still thinking she's in a car accident. And the doctor get on the phone and he said, hi, Mrs. My mom's name. And he goes, Janisha, he said, witnesses said that Janisha had fell in the shower, hit her head at such and such. Like, he had a timestamp. And then he said, he said the EMT had arrived, the sheriff had arrived at like 8:37, and then the EMT had arrived at 8:45. Like, he was giving timestamps. So I'm like, why is he giving timestamps? I was just automatically thinking like, okay, so then what? Like, I'm like, why are you giving timestamps? And I'm thinking the worst because he's giving timestamps. And he said, and she arrived here. I know she arrived at the hospital at 9:15, and he said, her pulse was very low. And her pulse was very low, and her heart rate was very low. And at that point, Ariani was standing in the room in my mom's room, and I turned around, I looked at Ani, I said, "Get out." And Ani got kind of upset because I was like, "Get out," like, because I knew what was coming. Mm-hmm. And so Ani left, and then I didn't get to hear him actually say the end. All I know is my mom was on the phone. I don't think my mom knew what was coming next. And I seen her go, no, and hit the bed, and she just like went down, and I just knew. And I'm like backing up, screaming like, no, 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 no. And I lost it. I completely lost it. I see my mom, she fell to the floor, and I'm looking at her room, and I see her fall to the floor, and I don't even know what I did. All I know is I fell out by the stairs. I just started kicking and hitting and knocking. I just lost it. Like, I lost control of myself. Mm-hmm. When you say like, yeah. And I was screaming, my sister. I was screaming. Oh my gosh. And me and Aaron was just talking about this, I think last night, that I think I really was about to lose my mind. Like, and people say that, like, don't make me lose my mind. No, seriously, like, you really can, your mind can really slip, and you really can turn into, like a crazy person. Like, not crazy, you know what I mean? You could just, like, you can lose your mind. Actually lose your mind. You can actually lose your mind. And I felt me slipping. Like, I felt me just, like, I don't know if some people may have been to that point in their life where they just felt like they were just going to lose it all. Like, lose everything in your head. And I was losing it. And Aaron had came downstairs after so long. It was probably like a minute. Because what were you doing when...
I was asleep. I had just got off early that morning. I was still asleep. And then I heard you screaming. I heard you say, "My sister, not my sister," and that made me hop out the bed and run downstairs. And I had told the kids to stay, shut the door, close the door, and just stay out the way until I come and get them. And I seen you down on the steps crying, and like, yeah, it was crazy. So, I walked downstairs and tried to get your attention, like have you look at me, because I kept telling you, I was telling you look at me and stuff like that, because you wasn't really responding to me. You just kept saying, "No, my sister, my sister," until I picked you up and had you look in my eyes and tell you, just speak to you, and just tell you. And then once I finally got you off the ground and you're in there with your mama, I called your brother, and I had to tell your brother.
Yeah.
One of the hardest things.
Yeah. It's very hard. And just to give you guys a rundown, my mom, she birthed 3 children. My sister, my brother, and then me. But I also have a sister that she did not birth, but that does not make her any different, right? My mom and her dad used to date, and as far as I can remember, she's always been there. So that's my sister as well, Crystal. And so, like I said, it doesn't make it any difference on both ends. That's still my dad. This is still her mom. But I end up, Aaron, he did get me up off the floor, and he was like, "I know it hurts, you know." He said, "But you have to be strong. You have to be strong for your mom. You have to go in there and be with your mom." And I'm looking at him like, okay. And so I'm trying to get it together. And I go to the restroom, because she had crawled in the restroom by then, and she's standing up, and then she falls over, and I lose it again. Like, I'm like, okay, this is real, because she fall out again. And yeah, I end up, my mom was still on the phone with the doctor at that point. I think he actually stayed on the phone with her for almost 30 minutes. And he just kept saying, "I'm sorry," and that they did everything that they could. And it was crazy because my sister was so far away from us. That's the terrible thing, too, that she was so far away from us. Here it is, you telling me my sister died in Atlanta, Georgia, and we're here in Kansas City. We couldn't get there fast enough. And so my mom, he gets off the phone. You know, they get off the phone she got off the phone with the doctor, and it was that time we still had to call family. In the midst of knowing the news, we immediately started calling family and letting them know, because my family we're not super close, but we're close, but we're not close.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's so weird because we don't see each other every day. We don't talk every day. We can go a whole year not, talking maybe once a month. Half of my first cousins, I just met their kids through this. You know what I mean? But we're still close. When it comes time to it, we all come together. And so I ended up calling my sister Crystal. And that was the hardest, like you said, the hardest thing, because you called Jonathan and had to tell him, and that was hard. Yeah. It's like, how do you tell someone that, especially over the phone? This was our older sister. This was my mom's first child. My mom, she kept saying that. She was saying, "No, not my baby, not my first baby, not my first baby." And it's not to say that a firstborn means more than the rest of your kids, but this is a person who made her a mom. This was her first pregnancy, her first baby. That means something. And so, It's so many details that I can go through. But I just wanted to explain to y'all what happened. I want to dedicate this video to my sister because y'all haven't seen her on the channel. She never really wanted to be on the channel like that. She never really wanted to be in stuff like that. But she was very, 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 oh my God, a wonderful person. And like I said, people say that all the time, but I'm not lying. My sister was freaking amazing. And so we end up, me and my mom and my aunt and my brother end up catching a flight the next day, going to Atlanta. And we were there for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 5 days.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot to do. It was so much stuff going on around her passing. I don't like to say death. Around her losing her life. And it took some time. Like, I still haven't fully accepted, even though we just had her homegoing service yesterday. And then me and my mom, we just went to her gravesite today. And seeing that she's actually buried then, because before we left, she was still,
like normal.
Her casket, was still up. Yeah. But to go and look at the spot where we know she is like, she's really there. Yeah. And it's still hard to accept. But I will say, one thing that has helped us as a family, and she looked at you as her brother, not her brother-in-law. They even had a good relationship. Is that one thing that really helped us is that the way, the outpour of love we have gotten all across this world is crazy. Just from this one person. This one person that has done works that takes many, many, many people. Yeah. The way she was honored. Even before, like, she was a pharmacy technician. She worked at Walmart Pharmacy for 7 years. And yeah, it's about 7 years. And I'm talking Walmart, the HR, her supervisor, the pharmacist, like, all of them have called my mom's phone so many times. And just hurting. Like, they're on the phone crying. The HR lady is crying to my mom. Like, what happened? What this? And like, I mean, she touched so many people, even at her job. And the church that she attended, her group that she attended, outpours of love on her social media. It's just outpours of love and many different things that she's done. She's a very giving person. She, like, her heart and what makes her happy is to serve others. And that's the honest to God truth. Am I over exaggerating? Like, she loves being there for people. She loves serving people. And she was never married. And she never had children. Now, that is a bittersweet thing because I know those are things that my sister wanted. She wanted so bad. But it's also comforting because we would be having to comfort a child without a mother right now. Yeah. And my first thing went to my mom was like, Mom, at least she wasn't like violently taken away. You know? I can go on and on about this, of all the different things I've had in my head, different things I had to deal with. All I want to say is this pain is the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. And I'm literally like in agony pain every single day. No, I don't sit up and cry all day long because I'm still a mom, you know, I'm still a wife. I still have things that I have to do. I'm still a daughter. But there's not a moment I'm not thinking about her. Even if I'm fixing food, like, I'm thinking of her, you know. I had the honor, I guess you could look at it that way, of doing her makeup. And that was really hard. At first, I didn't want to do it. I kept saying, I was telling my sister Crystal, I was like, I really don't want to go. Like, I don't want to do this. I can't do this. I've never touched anyone that's deceased. Like, even at other funerals, I don't touch them. And I thought that would be very weird. But when I went there, I was like, okay, this is not going to work. Because makeup, you have to touch them. And I was like, this is your sister. This is your sister. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, this is Nisha. Okay, Nisha. Girl, I'm about to make you pretty. This is Nisha. This is Nisha. And I fought back the tears. And it became to a point where it wasn't weird. It wasn't all the thoughts you would have of doing that. It was, I was doing this for my sister. And she was looking good. Was she? She looked good. So me and my sister Crystal did her makeup. Every time I try to give my sister credit, she like, I only did like a quarter. You did 75. No, Crystal, if you watching this, you did it too, girl. We did it together. You was there right there with me. During her makeup, I was getting her concealer, and I was trying to get it out the bottle, and it popped. Like, it popped, and I had makeup all on my concealer all on my shirt, and I'm sitting there still doing her makeup. I'm doing her makeup, and I looked down, because her casket is, oh my gosh, my mama got like, and not to say because she got it because it was expensive. No, it's really the prettiest one. My mom got the most expensive one they had there, and like the inside was like a powder pink, and I looked down, and I'm like, oh, no, and it's all this brown concealer in the cloth that she's laying in. I'm like, I ruined it. I'm like about to cry. My sister Crystal's like, it's okay, sister, we're gonna get it out. And the lady came, who usually do makeup and dress them, she came with like the solution, and we're like sitting there scrubbing. I'm like, no, I'm like crying. And then it had like, she had scrubbed so much, but it was like soaking wet then, so we couldn't tell. And I was like, it looked like it just needs to dry. And so she had put this flap that was supposed to come out to protect the cloth. And she was like, I did not put it out. I'm so sorry. I'm like, why didn't you put it out? Like, I was freaking out. I'm like, this is like her moment. I can't mess up her thing with makeup sitting there. Like, she was already dressed and everything ready to go. It was just her makeup. Like, there's nothing they could have did about that. And so I was like, we got to get a blanket. We got to get something. But luckily it dried, and you couldn't even tell. You didn't even see it, did you?
I wasn't looking for makeup. I didn't even know about makeup.
Yeah. So. No, I get it. But we finally laid my sister to rest. Actually, we went to go see today, and she was finally at her final resting place. This is something that I would never get over. But luckily my husband is here. He's helped me every step of the way. He's held my hand. Even late up at night, he talks to me because, unfortunately, as you guys know, people that been in our channel before know that, unfortunately, he's been in this position before, twice. Yeah. He lost his little sister when you were like 11.
19, 11, yeah.
And then, he lost his older brother 2 years ago. Yeah. So with him knowing exactly what my mindset is, that helps a lot, because I can ask him all the questions and he don't think I'm crazy, or he don't think I'm being dramatic, or telling me, oh, it'll be okay, or it's not. That's like the hardest thing. People, let me tell you out there, do not, when someone is crying over losing someone that is so close to them, do not say it's okay or you all right. Don't say that, because that was like pins sticking in me when people say that.
The best thing you can say is it's gonna get better. Because yeah, that's the only thing you can say. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's gonna get better. It takes time. Some people take longer than others, but eventually it does get better.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping, because right now I'm not there. Yeah. Another good thing is my sister was about to graduate in November, and with her bachelor's in science medicine, and she was going to graduate in November, but we were going to surprise her. Me and my mom talked about it, flying to Florida. She went to Florida. She did like online in Florida, and we were going to surprise her and fly down there for her graduation because my mom been to all her graduations, and because she's already had 2 associate's degrees, and so she wasn't able to graduate, obviously.
Well,
so my mom
technically she did
what?
graduate. Technically, because she was done right.
No, she was supposed to have been done like the mid of October.
I thought she had did everything she had to do.
No, her finals was this month.
Oh yeah, finals.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
everything else.
but everything else, she was scheduled to graduate, all that.
Yeah.
And so, what happened? So my mom ended up contacting her university, and they were able to get her degree. And my mom was like, I really want to have it before, at her services. And although they gave my mom like a copy of it, not the official one, that'll come in 4 to 6 weeks. But oh my God, I'm about to cry now. My mom was still able to get my sister's degree that she worked so hard for. I don't know if y'all know how long it takes to get a bachelor's degree, but she worked so hard. And
in medicine, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do sports medicine. It's hard. Medicine in general is hard.
Yeah, and we've seen Nisha spend so many nights doing exams, writing papers, even asking you to read papers for her, like proofreading. We've seen her working so hard, and so many things she's accomplished. She was a cosmetologist. She had 2 associate's degrees, pharmacy. She just so many different things, and she loved learning about medicine. Actually, my cousin did something very beautiful. She compared my sister to George Washington Carver, and if you don't know your history, look up George Washington Carver because she's very similar to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, anything else want to say about Nisha?
No, just
I feel like I can go on and on. If I could go on and on about my sister, we'll be here longer than 30 minutes. I'm looking at the clock now. It looks like we're about right at 30 minutes. And I could not, I'm telling you, I can go on and on about how amazing she is. I feel like I didn't even put a stamp on how amazing she is. But, yeah, she was amazing. Like I said, she never got married, but she taught many women how to be a wife. She never had children, but she taught many women how to be how to be mothers. She would go to their house, show them how to feed their baby, how to change, how to hold their baby, how to get their baby to sleep, how to nurture, how to love. She would teach them how to do this. Like sit with them and teach them how to do this. And she loved children. She loved all her nieces and nephews. She was a great auntie. I mean, she was just amazing. And I just hate that she's gone. But I know where she is. And there's no doubt. And we'll see her again. Yep. So, at the end of this video, we're getting ready to end. I'm going to upload a few pictures of her. I'm actually have some in the beginning, too. But I want to upload a few pictures of her so you can see how beautiful she was. And she traveled all over the world. She traveled Puerto Rico, Mexico, Jerusalem. She traveled all different places. So, she took her relationship with God very serious. She did not care if you called her crazy. She didn't care what your opinion was. She loved God, and that's what she lived her life for. And she lived her life spreading the gospel all across this world. Yeah. And, yeah. So, Janisha, I love you, sister. And this is a video just explaining to you how amazing she is. I wish we could have got her on the channel, but like I said, she really didn't want to be on the channel. She was just like, I guess shy. Because even like TikTok, like she would do TikToks with Ani, she's like, don't post it. You know? So, yeah.
The camera shy.
Yeah. That's exactly what she is.
Like you. No,
I am nowhere near camera shy. But
like me, I'm a little bit.
Yeah, I could tell. Because when you talk, you kind of like get shaky too.
I mean, that's just in general.
That is true. That is 100%. He did it when he get in front of people. No use to them when you get in front of people. So it's when you're nervous. When you get in front of people and when...
I mean, just when I'm speaking in front of people or to people, it's just, well, more people. I mean, it just depends, actually.
2 or more. No, 3 or more. That's what it is. 3 or more.
Yeah, it really just depends.
Yeah. So, I do want to thank you again for watching this video. If you have not, please subscribe. Turn on your post notifications. That way you get notified when we upload a video. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media. And join.
The pack.
I said all that, and I'm out join you like the pack. I just said all of it.
I forgot. No. She just like to talk. That's all it is. You know, she just like to run at the mouth all day long. Y'all can tell. This video could have been about 10 hours with the letter just talk. You know.
I mean, because we're talking about my sister.
I know. No, just any video.
No.
It doesn't matter.
No.
What she's talking about, she can just keep going on and on. Like she'll start with one subject and go to another one and another one and another one.
Like he's doing now.
I know that's what you're trying to wait for. That's why I kept talking. But I'm used to her
like he doing
talking.
now. He just kept going and going and going.
I was waiting for you to say something like you always do.
All right, you guys. So enjoy this little video about my sister, her pictures, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.